Oh yeah, are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Yeah, we're live. What's up? Yeah, what up, everyone? What was that? Yeah, what's good? Happy Wednesday for old time's sake. Yeah, man, what's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to a fine Wednesday edition of BS with Hannas. Look at that. Look at that. Have I successfully ended my hiatus? 3 episodes in a week? Dude, stay tuned next time. What's good? It's a Wednesday, dude. And it's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, man. The whole premise of this is I'll wake up and take a night walk. I'll walk and I'll ponder. I'll think about some stuff. I'll spend my mornings doing good stuff and reading. And now I come out and talk to the people a little bit when I'm done here. Go lift some weights, go to work, do my thing, man. And while I'm here, I just like talking about whatever I'm kind of thinking about, whatever's going on, you know. Yeah. Last Friday was Fridays are going to be oriented towards zooming out, looking at the big picture, which in my view, currently, as views change and shift as they do, the big picture ultimately is a self picture. Kind of shows us where we're at, what we're thinking about. Where do we fit in the big picture of things? What we're doing, how we're spending our time, what we're producing, you know, that stuff matters. And it matters in the big picture as well. So that's kind of the Friday thing. Monday is like kind of let's zoom in, let's look at narrow vision, more of a blatant kind of mentality. The reason for that is Mondays suck for most people, but we don't want to be like most people. There's all the reason in the world for that. And that's not even, I shouldn't even say it like that. That's not to disparage most people. I don't know most people. I ought not speculate and act as if I know the intimate inner workings of most people. That's not a good position either. But let them be known by their fruits, some could say. And if you go to a Walmart or if you go to an airport or if you just spend some time online, the view of most people given to us, not exactly a good one. And I'd like to do what I can do to not be among that subpar mediocrity that is most people. But I digress. Maybe my mentality is just projecting. Can't rule that out, but it's all good. So then here we are on a Wednesday. So if we're going from big picture to narrow picture, let's go to like the middle picture. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Not so much that I want to opine and consider all the things going on in the world, all the evils in the world, all the tyrannies and injustices and grievances and so on and so forth. But as people, we do live in the world. We got to interface with it. We got to interact with it. We have to, at some point, go out in it and among it and participate in it. There's people out there that insist on that. I just want to get a bunch of land in the woods and F off and not deal with anybody. I hate people. I like my animals more than I like people. I don't really agree with that. Maybe once upon a time I did. What are you going to do, though? You're going to just go stick to yourself in the woods. You're going to return back to our primal nature. You're going to return back. You're going to go hunt and gather. You're going to be off the grid. Good luck to you, man. I mean, it's admirable. I wouldn't mind a little more distance from myself and the overblown suburbs and endless construction sites and endless road work and tree work and traffic and congestion. I wouldn't mind a little more space between the two. But I don't know, man. If that's your natural disposition, it's like, what, you're just going to abandon everything? You're just going to be in the world and take, and get yourself out there. I don't know. I don't know. It's philosophically, it doesn't quite sit right with me, but the world ain't right. I was listening back to some old episodes of mine the other night after I came back, after my glorious return last Friday. I went back and looked up episodes of this show, BS with Hannas, from exactly a year ago. And the one episode, I think it was to the day, Saturday night, was what did I call it? Elon and Trump only matters as much as you think it, as you let it matter, or whatever. Because I remember back last year when it was like a big news thing. Everyone in the news was rah, complaining and can you believe it? And people, because Elon Musk came out saying that Trump was this and Trump was that. I thought they were best friends. I thought they were oligarch buddies in it on in the game together. And even last year, I was starting to kind of break away from being so absorbed and sucked into the news and the vortex that it is. Even earlier this year when I was in my readings, Scott Mann in his book "No One Is Coming to Save You," he calls that effect the churn. The churn, Top G calls it the matrix, the powers that be, whatever, the social media, the mass conglomerate mind control device. There's all types of words for it, but it wants you absorbed into it. It wants to siphon your mental and metaphysical energy, suck it up into it because then it controls you. Then it's got you by the jaw. It's got you by the hook like you're a fish. It's just holding you like that, holding you up, man. And we let that happen to ourselves. We let that happen to ourselves if we participate in it. But it's a fine line to me, and one I kind of wrestle with. I've been so focused recently. Either I'm stone cold depressed and apathetic and just don't care, which is what the half of my hiatus was just like F this, dude. Who cares about any of it, man? Pretty self-evidently a wrong way to approach things. But either you're that or the drums of war start banging and you just get hummed up into a frenzy. Both of which should be avoided. Both of which should be avoided, man. Because there's so much negativity out there. It's like it's what's that line between outright apathy of the state of things and it's very interesting because it's meant to induce anger. It's meant to induce anger. And when you're angry, like you kind of sacrifice control. It's rare that people have such a level of self mastery that when they're inspired and moved to anger, they can control it. Controllable anger is rare. Usually it happens like that. You get ticked off and then it seizes you. There's a possessive energy to the spirit that is anger, at least in my experience. And I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it throughout my life. How the level of just, there's so many words for it, temperance to just hold anger and not let it just run you in those moments when it strikes, because it's one of the anger's interesting to me. And it's one of those things where it like demands manifestation. It demands some kind of release. We do things to get rid of my anger. Well, that implies you have no mastery over it if you have to exercise it from you, or that implies it's from somewhere else entirely. It's disembodied and you give it a body. And I don't know what to make of that. That's a crazy, crazy heady idea. I don't know what to make of that. You know what I mean? Like it's an instinctual thing. And there's a whatever instincts actually are, the animal instinct that's in us, that's only half of what a human is. That's only half of what a person is. I guess animals get angry and they react out of instinct. They bite, they lash out, they defend themselves, they kill or whatever, So we have that in us for sure. But there's a Venn diagram of what people are, of what humans are. And if we give ourselves too much to that debasement and animal level instinct, and something happens, there's a stimulus, so you just react to it. You're hungry, so you eat. You don't think about that or have any kind of control over it. You're horny, so you go seek something. That's growing up. My dad always said that. My dad always said that. That's what gets big trophy bucks killed. It gets them an arrow through their heart when they're being led by pheromones and thinking about those does and eat. Those big bucks that weathered many years to get these big antlers on them, they get thwacked. So thank you for that life lesson, Pop, because that's true. You lower yourself down to that instinct and you're tunnel vision focused into it. Anger's the same way. Despair is the same way, I guess, but it's kind of unique in that can animals despair? Do animals just develop learned helplessness? Maybe. I'm reading this book right now. Here it is. Check it out. Can you see it, or is there a glare? Learned Optimism. Learned Optimism by Dr. Martin E.P. Speligman. I don't know how to pronounce that. Whatever. Martin Speligman, PhD. Learned Optimism, how to change your mind and your life. Because I like reading this kind of stuff. And in the first 20 some, 30 some pages, he's talking about when in the 60s, when he was in graduate school, behaviorism, Pavlovian psychology, and B.F. Skinner psychology, behaviorism was like the current thing. And this is back in the 60s. So as we think about the world, let's think about the world in the 60s. Counterculture, Vietnam, mass societal upheaval, and crazy times, to be sure. So, and even on that note, so we're living in 2026. This ain't too different than the 60s, really. Lots of old notions are being turned on their heads. Lots of old ways of thinking, things that were once modern and the accepted thing. They're being fought by new things that are coming up through the culture. And then there's a cultural battle going on. Is this the culture wars? I mean, objectively, for sure, just like it was back then. And a lot of what we rest on now is a direct lineage to what was going on in the 60s, because that gave us the 70s, gave us the 80s, so on and so forth. So to just say that what's going on in the world doesn't matter, that's not true. But is that where our focus goes? You know what I mean? Like, is that where our focus goes? Yeah, in the first 30 pages of this or something, this guy was shocked that they were still doing animal experiments in the realm of psychology in the 60s. But it turns into, learned helplessness. And where do we get learned helplessness from? From being conditioned, from being repeatedly hit with something and realizing there ain't nothing I can do about this. So why bother? So why bother? A dog in a shock collar that just doesn't seek to do anything about it, just whimpers, just learns that. If animals can learn that, you think we can't learn that? And like, we all know this instinctively. Most of us, I mean, there's so much information out here. There's so much people more well versed than me, far more articulate than me, far better YouTube setup than me. There's all types of cats out here talking about this stuff. So we all understand psychology 101. You know what I'm saying? We all understand this stuff on a basic level. And that's kind of the fight as the matrix and powers that be, the societal hypnosis mechanisms, everything out there, whatever you want to call it, the churn, the machine, the system, the devil, it's all the same thing to me. It wants to get you in this system of just being bent up in anger. And then once you're angry, you're not like yourself. You got to get that anger is going to run you until you can run it and manage it, control it. But ain't it easy just to get mad at things going around? And I am so guilty of this, dude. I'm a belligerent party in that from time to time. But it's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. We shouldn't, because then what happens if we bring ourselves into the world now? Wherever it is that we show up with this chip on our shoulder. We show up with this slanted disposition. We bring that negativity to other people. The ripple effect of achievement and positivity and doing good things that the masters of teaching out here on the internet talk about. That's very real. People see you get sober, people see you get strong, people see you build muscle, people see you lose weight, and they take note of that. Whether they do anything with it or not, they notice that. And that has a positive, uplifting, benevolent effect to the world writ large, just by virtue of what you're bringing with you when you show up. And the opposite is also true. No, this guy's still mad about Joe Biden. Damn, this bull's still mad at Donald Trump, you're still walking around wearing a No Kings in America t-shirt or something. You're still focused on that, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Because then now and it completely just reorients your central point, whatever it is you're doing. It's just so interesting to me. And I don't know. Maybe it's helpful to someone out there to listen to it. You want some advice from the from Uncle B Hannas out here? Don't matter, man. To some extent. Got to roll with the punches out here. Go read you some stoicism. Go look at what's in front of you and handle things that are in front of you. Don't be mad at the grand machine that is the world. It's the old Jordan Peterson thing, dude. You better clean your room first. If your room is filthy, if you're looking through a dirty window, yeah, you're going to talk about what's going on outside. You don't know nothing. Focus on cleaning your house first, man. Get your stuff in order. And that starts, for me, it starts in the morning. I was saying the other day, I wake up negative. I wake up agitated. I wake up not wanting to get out of bed. And you got to fight that. You got to change that eventually. That's a long process. That's a long process that's informed by a million little things, all these reps in the dark that no one really sees, because you can show up any which way you want. But I know when it comes to this is a great lifetime example. When I come out here on YouTube, live on YouTube, by the way, BS with Beyond is unscripted, just riffing, just thinking. When I show up out here, if I have a morning where I'm up nice and early and I do a bunch of reading, I've had a couple cups of coffee, I take my nice walk, I get to ponder and listen to the birds and enjoy the morning, the peacefulness that comes with it. That's a lot different than me waking up last minute, disheveled, late, thinking, oh, but I gotta show up because I told myself I'm gonna do this, man. But now I'm late. Am I even worth it? Is it even worth coming out here and talking to either the whole internet at one time or nobody at all? I'm just talking into the void and I can't even get up. Now it goes, man. Now it goes. The enemy has staked some territory in the brain. But maybe that's more of a Monday thing. Maybe that's more of a narrow mindset kind of thing, but it's all the same, dude. It's all the same. It's all the same. Hey, yo. Oh, man. Maddie in the chat. What's up, dude? I got this new thing now. I throw like a bandana on my computer screen because I don't really want to see who's in the chat. I don't want to see how many people are in there. I'm only going to know you're in here if you pop up in the chat and say what's up. So good to see you, man. You said thought became reality. Thought becomes reality. Guard your mind. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And a lot of the stuff I read is kind of that new thought, that manifestation thought. But that's all. It gets a rep for being kind of occultish and, in the world of I don't know, I guess grind culture and hustle culture or, self-help, personal development, whatever. There's some things in manifestation thinking that just aren't true. Like you can't just think your way into a 400-pound squat. That's not actually how it happens. You can't just think your way into a 3 comma bank account. It's not really reality. But some of these writers and ways of metaphysical thinking are so bound to that idea that your conscious is what creates everything. But at the same time, if you're doing all these things, but your soul and your like spirit is just bleak, that's going to color every rep you do. If you're doing it with this agitation or if you're doing it with this negative disposition, if you're doing it in the spirit of anger, yeah, maybe you'll get it. But then the question becomes, is it righteous? Thought becomes reality. You'll know them by their fruits. Stay close to the vine. These things are very important, man. These things are very important. James Allen, as a man thinketh, the mind is a garden. We got to tend to it. And if the garden that is our mind needs to be walled off against the barbarians or the pests, the invasive forces, so be it. That opens up the door to resiliency. All these things are related. All these things are related. And as for me, it's been it's been a lifetime. Again, as I sit at evening and at the evening times and I sit and write, my writing project right now is limited to a memoir styled piece about my drinking and how alcoholic tendencies, alcoholism like that was the dominating factor of my entire life from 15 till 31. So like as I sit and write that, I'm like relearning myself and seeing my life in a different light, seeing my habits, my patterns and dispositions. And, that's going to change how I show up right now. But it's like all things, man, in the wise words of the rapper Stitches, put that brick in your face. Now what you gonna do with it? So what am I gonna do with it? What am I gonna do with it right now? Am I gonna keep thinking? Or am I gonna like actualize something? Take that first step. You can think your way into the first step of the 100,000th step of hitting a 400. Yeah. And you have to do that. You have to set an intention and set a goal. And that exists in the garden of the mind. Got to plant a seed. You got to plant a seed. You got to pull weeds too, though. Sometimes you got to kill predators and pests. Hey, yo, Jerome in the chat. What's up, dude? It's sket. I don't know what that means, but that's all good. Happy Wednesday, guys. We're at 20 minutes. This is my cutoff point. I gotta go. It's a Wednesday, which means I'm doing legs. Leg day sucks without doing squats. I gotta keep stretching. I gotta repair this back. Feels a lot better than it's been, but that's all right. We can do nice, slow, controlled time under tension reps. Get it up there, count down to 3, bang, 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 bang. Time under tension. Such is life. Such is life. Anyway, yeah, I gotta roll. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate you being here. A fine Wednesday. BS with Hannas live on YouTube with me, Nikki Hannas. If you like this, sub to the channel. If you like it a lot, sub to the Patreon. There's links underneath in the description. You want to support it in that way. If you want to listen to my music, go check it out. Some heavy blues metal, NikkiBehannas.com. All my stuff's on there. NikkiBehannas.bandcamp.com. Music's out there. Nikki Behannas on all streaming services. You can go check that out. I got another YouTube channel, Nikki Behannas Music. Live improv guitar playing, just ripping over some backing tracks. That's a lot of fun. Although I was playing the other day and I'm getting rusty. I'm getting rusty. That's what happens when you take a month off. I could think about guitar all day long, but always some bullshit gets in the way. It's one of my own songs. Go check it out. Shoot from the hip, gunslinging. You want some merch? Get you some merch. If you like the message, rep the message. HeavyBluesMetal.com. Any other plugs? I don't know. You can follow me on Instagram at HeavyBluesMetal. I think that's it. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Keep it real. Get some today. Kill it. Crush. Rise. Own it. Keep it real. One love. Peace.